Hello, my lovely Marshall blenders. How are you? How are you? Hi, everybody. I decided to hop on and just chit chat a little bit with you guys. Life after cosmetology school. So I graduated cosmetology school 2020. I started, it was in July of 2019, 2 weeks after my sister passed away. And we went through the shutdown. Uh, it was a crazy time. It made it difficult. So I think the experiences that my classmates and I had during the time of that shutdown, and then having to learn how to do classes using Teams and Zoom, and and then returning back for the last 2 weeks to do what we had to do, and then graduating was an ordeal. But I did. I graduated May of 2020, and so here's the thing, guys. I'm like, you know, I went in thinking that as soon as I graduated, I would go for my license, and in other words, state board license, and call it a day. And what I came to find out is that a lot of a lot of people that graduate from the cosmetology course don't necessarily immediately go to take the state board. And part of it is trepidation. I'll be honest with you. So I'm going to tell you, my advice would be perfect what they teach you. In my case, my nervousness, I didn't perfect the 90-degree cut. It was daunting for me. It was scary. And the finger wave. Eventually, I got good at the other things. Like, it's 10 things that you get tested on, and you start off with the 90-degree cut. That's the beginning of it. So a lot of people kind of withheld. There's multiple reasons. If you were to ask me why did I take so long to do it, I can give you the immediate response, which was life. You know what I mean? I'm taking care of my mom, who is sickly. I had a lot of other things going on. But ultimately, the reality was that I was afraid of failing. That's the reality. I was so scared of failing. Like, I didn't want to, and for me in my head, it was going to be this big place. And yes, I'm taking my mannequin, but then the other thing is the preparation for it. So my advice to you is prepare your packages, your 10 packages for the testing. Prepare your bags, prepare your signs, clean, used, or dirty. Prepare that, and go about preparing it little by little. Watch YouTube videos here that talk about the preparation for the exam. That was the other thing that delayed me, was the fact that it felt daunting because I didn't pack my 10 bags, slowly. When it came time to do it, I was like, oh, forget it. I don't want to have to pack all these bags and then just to fail, mess up with the. So I could say psyched myself out, but I would also say that these were legitimate things that a procrastinator like myself would have to deal with. But I think normal human beings would also have to deal with that. I was very daunted by preparing the bags, And can I tell you something? I watched several videos and they helped me so much. They set me at ease. And so I would watch, like, I'm honest, watched about 10 videos. And each time I would watch it, I would start preparing a bag. And whatever I hadn't prepared, when I watched the following video, then I would continue the preparation. And watch the following video, continue the preparation of the bags, So prepare your bags. Can I tell you something? Having the bags prepared is about 75% of the relief. If you have your bags set to go, you'll be more excited to go get it done. The other thing I would say is Get the 90-degree cut down pat. My other advice is get your finger waves strong and your pin curl strong. I can tell you, so I did not pass the part for the cut. Fortunately, thank God, I did good on the other 9 exercises. I did really well on the other 9 exercises. But while I was there at the test, okay, so my friend Rainisha, shout outs to Rainisha. I love you so much. We studied together, so I would say also that for the written test, I was not nervous at all. For the written test, my advice to you would be, because yes, there's 2 parts. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that at the beginning, right? There's 2 parts. You have the written and you have the practical. For the written, my advice to you is go over the practice, the notebook, the Milady test notebook with the answers. You should have already had them highlighted, because when you went through the chapters, you should have circled the answers, right? Go over it. And I scheduled practices with 3 different people. So I'm gonna give you shout outs to Rainisha, shout outs to my beautiful Lulu, my beautiful Lulu, and also shout outs to Kayla. I practiced the tests with them, and went all the way fit. I finished the full all chapters practices with Rainisha, and once we did that, I think have a buddy or have a person also that will commit. And the beautiful thing about it was that I found solace knowing that my buddy Rainisha and myself were feeling the same, and so we pushed each other in our trepidation, in our nervousness, in our feelings of we're not good enough. When it came to the written part, we were like, if we fail, we were like, when we fail, we'll come back and take it again, and we both passed it. And then we had that same sentiment for the practical. We were like, when we fail, we'll come back and take it again. But it was nice to have that with someone else, and we pushed each other, So we took the written test. Fortunately, I passed it. A 70 is a passing grade, I think it is. I'm sure I got something like, surprisingly, I got like a 78. And she passed. And then we told each other, okay, get the practical. And we took a year to get the practical done. We took a year. I think I got the practical done something like October 2021. And I want to shout out Ray, my best friend Reynaldo. He saw, so I almost crumbled before the practical exam. I'm a person that normally is very composed, knows what I'm doing. Something happened to me that day of the practical exam where and I've never felt this before. I was absolutely insecure, absolutely doubtful, absolutely inadequate. Every shred of insecurity I thought I had done away with in my 20s rushed back in, and it was a weird feeling that I literally did not know what to do. And my friend had to direct me to the place where I was going to go. I didn't even know my left from my right, my front from my, I was not numb. It's a different feeling. And so, panicked. I was panicked. And so he walks me. I was like, we got to take the bus. And he's like, the bus? He goes, I'll walk you. And so then it was across the street, guys. Take the bus. It was across the street. And so we walked there, and even right now I feel it. And so we get there, and I go upstairs, and I promise you guys, I was thinking, I'm going to fail. Like, this is going to be tragic. This is going to be tragic. This is going to be tragic. I'm going to get in there. I'm not going to know anything, and I'm going to fail. And I was looking to see if I saw my friend Rainisha. I didn't see her. I got in. It was one person, one monitor to 2 people, which the room wasn't so large. That calmed me down a little bit. But then to know that there was going to be that one person hovering made me nervous. So I get in, I set my stuff up. Can I tell you something? So once I set my stuff up, I put the gel that's gonna be, for the relaxer, and the cholesterol that's gonna be for the relaxer, and the highlighter, and all that stuff. Once I started setting up, I started kind of coming back, because for a moment I really was non-existent. It was just a body moving. There was no brain thinking. So I was on automatic. And then as I'm putting things down, I started remembering, no, Marcial, you're the man. You're the man. Like, you got this. Like, you know how to do highlights. You know how to do relaxers. You know how to do a finger wave. You know how to do a blowout. You know how to do a barrel curl. You know how to do a spiral curl with the Marcel curler. You know how to create a pin curl. What is going on here? What is going on here? And so I calmed down, I'll say about 90%. It was the haircut. It was that 90-degree haircut. I did all the steps wrong. And when the proctor, or the person that's observing, tells me to do a cross check, I wanted to faint. And my head said, pack everything up and go, Marcial, go. Empaca todo y lárgate, lárgate. But then there was another part of my brain that said, you better not move from here. You better stay. You jacked up the 90-degree cut. You better ace everything else. And that's precisely what I did. What was comforting, again, misery loves company. What was comforting was that the other person, because you're not supposed to talk, so we didn't talk to each other, but the other person that was there, I could see their nervousness about their haircut. And I could see the same panic of, oh, I'm going to pack my stuff up and go. And I looked at her and I go, like, stay. And she just nodded at me. And after that, I gave her like a thumbs up, and we just worked. We worked. And I'm happy to say, yeah. So I got my results about, I think it was like a month later. Oh, point is, Rainisha was there too. Rainisha had arrived. She arrived just in time. And we both passed. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. Now, after getting my license, so much had happened in life. And that's the thing that happens with a lot of people. Some people will go to cosmetology school and never go for the license. And I think that that's a common thing that occurs. And then you have people that will go for the license and then not exercise it, right? Like, not use it. I did use it, I do use it, but I am not using it where and how I would have liked to have used it. And of course, there are legitimate reasons for it. But I think that a lot of us who have gotten the license revert to comfort, which is what I did. I reverted to, the jobs that I know, security, and then recently I was thinking about going back to be a teacher's assistant, but there's part of my brain that says, no, Marcial, you have your license there. You must use your license. That license is supposed to be making you money. You are not supposed to be, to a certain degree, like, not having money, broke. You're not supposed to be broke. You're supposed to have money. And I spoke to two friends of mine recently, Ray and Dan, and they really reminded me, and Dan has honestly always, and Ray also, have always been reminding me, come on, put that license to work. But this time they were able to speak to me with a lot more frankness. It was kind of like a shaking up, like, Marcial, come on, get it done. And so that's my goal. My goal is to actually put the license to use. And I can tell you, I did something recently. If you go to my Instagram page, Marcials Blends Hair, you'll be able to see what I posted recently. And posting that before, so I went on the notes and started writing it, and I screenshot it, and I was going to post it on the Instagram, and all of a sudden my heart started pounding, and that's when I realized I haven't done anything to the level or degree that I wanted to do it because of anxiety, because of that doubt, because of that insecurity, um, you know? And I chuckle because my friend tells me, he goes, listen, Marcial, you're a, he goes, you're a, I want to say a specific way he said it. He says, you are a flamboyant, extroverted black man that loves to do hair. That's who you are. That is who you are. So don't worry about how people will perceive you or how people will. He goes, in this case, those are attributes that actually work for, like, are a benefit, are like a plus in the industry. He goes, and I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. You're absolutely correct. You know, you're absolutely correct. So my next steps is gonna be to get cards printed out, and see where I go from there. A Bible student that I have, I was conversing with him about it, and he's so smart. He's 16 years old, but he's able to compartmentalize things, and he's just very, very logical. And he says, "Oh, I understand what you're saying." He says, because my fear is this. I've had clients before. You know what I mean? He goes, your fear is this. You're going to be starting over again. And you wonder if people are going to like you. If people are going to come to you. You don't know if you're going to be able to do that again. And when he said that, I naturally let out a sigh of relief. And I was like, that's exactly it. I don't know if I will be able to get the clients that I'd like to get. You know, I don't know if people will even want Marcials blends to do their hair. And that is scary. That is scary, you know? But having that verbalized and me recognizing it reverberating in me, and me being able to say, oh, that's what it is, was strengthening. It was encouraging. Because I'm the kind of person that once I can understand what my fear is or what the problem is, I can conquer it, you know? And so I went back to thinking, hey, baby steps, day by day, second by second, you know? So it's been 2020, right? 2021, 22, 23. So it's been 3 years since I graduated. It's been a year since I got my license, right? No, mentira. When did I go from 2021? 20, yeah. So it's been about 2 years. It's been about a year and a half maybe since I got my license. And I'm going to officially put it to start working. You know, I'm going to officially put it to start working. And it is a little nerve-wracking, you know? It's a little nerve-wracking. But I know that I can do it. So yes, once you graduate from cosmetology school, if you never get your license, don't consider yourself a failure. It is something that happens a lot. And enjoy and appreciate the experience you have. Enjoy and appreciate the polishing that you received after graduating cosmetology school. If you do get your license, congratulations. Congratulations. If you never do anything with that license, that knowledge that you received from it, I'm sure you're applying it in life. Be it on yourself, be it in helping other people, you know what I mean, to feel beautiful. It's wonderful. Do not devalue that. You are doing wonderful. After you graduate cosmetology school, you get your license, and you are able to exercise it. There are people who now have their own hair product lines. I don't know if that's necessarily something I excuse me, will reach for, but it's possible. Hair tools. You guys know I love fragrances, things like that. But I'm taking steps. I'm taking steps. And someone recently said that a goal is something that is challenging you and will force you to grow. In other words, if I set a goal for something that is reachable, those are actually steps, right? So those short-term goals are actually steps that should lead me to the actual bigger thing that I'm scared of. So I guess we'll talk about that some other time. And thank you for listening, my lovely Marshall blenders. I just had a moment where I felt like I needed to express where I am at. Someone might ask, but weren't you renting a chair at a salon? I did rent a chair at a salon. My personality is a little bit too effervescent. And so that made me say I need to have my own space. And that was also part of what made me kind of step back. It was a step back. But I'm going to be taking steps towards reaching a goal. What is that goal? I'll be honest with you, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. But it has to be something that will be a challenge for me, something that I could not imagine, and reach it. So go follow me on Instagram. Show some love. Okay, love you guys. Goodbye, my lovely Marshall blender. I'll see you soon. Ciao. Thank you for listening. I love you guys so much.